RWP is brought to you by Porch Beer Entertainment.
It wasn't enough.
It wasn't.
It wasn't like Drew Brees, 400 yards night. So it didn't go well.
Do you want Eckler?
For what? I don't need to be making trades. I don't need
Probably.
to be,
Well,
give me a couple.
maybe
no.
Mike Evans.
No. I'm not making that. I'm not an idiot.
That's pretty fair, honestly.
No, that's a terrible trade.
Especially
no.
if he lasts about 8 weeks. But you can turn around and you can trade Eckler for even more.
God, I haven't had beer since Sunday.
Yeah, that was a fun time though. We just needed to pace ourselves. We got drunk.
Coming back.
We got drunk way too early.
Well, the problem was, so Salty Dalton and I got together on Saturday. We had a lovely Saturday together, playing some video games, playing some
NCAA football.
NCAA football 13, old school. And you and I had a nice we were sipping on some beers throughout the day. We had nice pacing of the alcohol. It was just like get a nice little buzz, enjoy our afternoon. We had like 50 dogs over. It was a zoo. It was pretty wild. But then Sunday came around, and the plan was for you and I to watch some football, as we are football fans, NFL Red Zone. And I brought.
How great was that experience?
Oh, it was great until I wasn't able to pay any attention.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine like the initial 2 hours of that.
The initial hour,
excitement.
I'd say the initial hour was pretty great, and the whole time was great. But then we broke into the Dogfish Head 120 IPA.
It's a limited release. They only do it every once in a while, and they rarely ever sell bottles. So you have to go to the actual brewery to get it, and it's a whopping 18% alcohol.
It was 18%, and my lovely wife Abigail was able to pick us up a couple cans, and the night before, because she had gone to Dogfish Head with a friend, and she brought those. She chose that to bring back. Because she has no idea what any percentages or alcohol.
I thought you told
like
her
that.
to, but
I had told her about the 120, but I had talked about the 90-minute, because that's what I've been drinking lately. She comes back with a can of the 120. You and I enjoyed some delicious wings, and then
man, we punished those wings.
We ate a lot of wings, and then we set out to drink the 120-minute IPA, and the day was forever changed. The day was forever changed when we decided to drink the 120.
To give you people a reference, the 120-minute, like I said, it's 18% alcohol per serving. Now, they serve it in a 6-ounce glass, and you don't get a regular 16-ounce pint or anything. It's a mini glass, and that's their serving size. So Ben and I both had 2 pint glasses full of it. Now, that's, to put in perspective, so one 6-ounce serving is, let's see if we got a reference here. What's Coors Light here? Coors Light is, this stuff used to be on here.
It's probably down towards the bottom of the front, where it has wherever it has the alcohol.
Okay,
percentage.
so it is 4.2 alcohol percentage per serving.
Sure.
Now, so let's do 4 times. We'll round up to close to 20%. So basically, there's 4.5 Coors Lights in a 6-ounce serving
of the 120 minute.
Of the 120 minutes. So Ben and I both had probably maybe at least 3 each.
Yeah.
So 3 servings each of 120. So that's about 12 beers in 2 hours. That's about 6 beers per hour, which was a mistake.
There was a certain moment where it hit me like a wave.
Yeah. I literally, I was like, I got the thing where you feel like you're kind of like a little slow motion. And I was looking at the thing and at the TV, and I wasn't able to get into it because I was I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I'm not like blackout drunk, but I'm drunk.
We were an hour and a half into hanging out too.
Yeah. So I just nursed the last beer for, one beer lasted 2 hours for me because it took me 2 hours to feel okay enough where I could start drinking.
CMO Pete was there.
Yeah.
Nick was there. They were not prepared for the level of alcohol that we had consumed because then Nick brought our groomsmen gifts,
Which was beer, and we drank it right
that
there.
We drank both of, or I think we drank both.
We drank
of them.
both. I have yours upstairs for you. It's cleaned out.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
we drank both of these big bottles of beer that he brought us, that he brewed. So I mean, all I'll tell you is I brought pretty much all the beer supply I had to your place.
Yeah.
All that was left was like a dog.
Two beers.
Two beers.
Optimization and 90 minute.
Yeah. Man.
And we had some of my Rolling Rocks before.
True.
And then so went Rolling Rocks. You had a couple beers extra than I did the whole time because
because that's just me.
Yeah, and like, well, I mean,
I just don't stop once I start.
So it was like that, and then the 120 minute. Yeah, it was.
So
honestly,
I got
like,
home.
Football was incredible, but there's like a 3-hour block of football I don't remember.
So I used,
because I wasn't paying attention.
I used a
drunk.
brief sober window in it to be able to get home, and then once I got home, I passed it off to Abby like I was just really tired. I mean, like, she knew I'd been drinking, but she didn't know how much I had been drinking. I was just like, oh, I'm so tired. I was like, let's just Uber Eats dinner, and she's like, that's fine. We Uber Eats this pasta. It's called this place called Pasta di Nana, and we've gotten it a couple times.
Did you crush it?
Dude, so I got 3 bowls of things.
Three bowls?
Now, for all of us to split, it was kind of like family style. So like we each like.
I like how you say all of us, and it was just you and Abby.
So
right?
there was like fettuccine Alfredo. There was this like tortellini, cheese tortellini, and then there was some other thing. I crushed like almost all of it, and then it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I was like, I'm going to bed now. I was like, I have to go to sleep right now because I'm falling asleep immediately. And the hangover was already starting to set in.
Well, that's just it. So like, so we pretty much, we stopped drinking at like
4.
4. We started.
I left at 6.
We started at 12:30.
Yeah.
We stopped at 4.
Yeah.
Now, you know, people at home be like, okay, you just drank for a couple hours. Like, you know, if you were just drinking normally, if we were just having like casual beers, watching football, which is what we should have done. We should have done. Maybe
because we did that the day before, and it was great.
Like, yeah, we had like 2 beers an hour. We crushed an entire case of like craft beer.
Felt no ill effects.
Nothing. We were fine. We were sober as a tree outside. It was just like, we just jam-packed. We had so many beers. And I have never... Like, there's been day drinking in college and in high school where it's been like, I've been aware, like I've actually, you know how people say like, you know, when you stay awake long enough to see the sun rise again, it's like, it's the hangover part. I've only been awake for I've only experienced my hangover live like 2 times. And that time let's see, and I get hangovers bad. So we stopped at 4. All we did was we actually got to watch the games. We kind of understood what was happening. You didn't, like, you got clear-headed and sober probably like at like 5.
I started
5 or 6.
pounding water nonstop.
Yeah, probably about 6 o'clock you were good to go safely.
I had the hiccups too.
Yeah. And it was
Remember
just
the hiccups?
Around 6:30, I got a head-splitting, just head-pounding
for the rest of the night, I had that too.
And I was like, what is going on?
It carried through all of Monday for me at work too. I was off. I was definitely hungover at work because I had planned. The original plan was Monday morning, wake up and go for a run at 4 a.m. That definitely didn't happen.
Yeah,
it was. So
we just got to work out the equation.
We got to figure out the equation because we were like. We got to just.
It was the first day of football. Yeah. We were hyped up.
We're very hyped
up. We had the 120. You're not gonna not drink the 120.
No, it's 120. Yeah. I have to.
So we just need to bring the formula. We need to merge the Saturday session.
Sure.
With the Sunday
session and get like
find a good tipsy medium.
Good. Okay, that will be our mission.
Yeah.
That will be our mission.
I just got to refine it. It's a numbers game.
And before we start the show, I did want to give a shout out to our softball team.
We got our first 2 wins.
And let me describe these wins for you people.
I went 4 for 4 with 4 home runs.
Dalton hit 4 home runs over the fence. I threw a perfect game, which in adult league
softball is probably impossible.
Pretty insane because I was just whipping it in there. Guys were swinging and missing. I was throwing crazy curves. Dalton's dad, like, he also went 4 for 4, stole 10 bases, and you're not even allowed to steal in the league, but he still did it. We're like, what are you doing, Pat? And he's like, I'm just stealing bases.
It's almost as if it was impossible.
There were scouts there.
Yeah.
There were scouts there for not Major League Softball, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they said, kids, guys, we like what you got. Yeah.
Children, where they said, you guys have all the talent in the world. You just got to reel it back a little bit, find some happy medium between Sunday and Saturday, and we'll let you into the league. And that's what they said to us. And, we're now 2-4.
2-4, and
the other team
surprise, yeah.
The other team did not forfeit via email the same
Definitely
day.
not. No, there's no correlation between any emails we got Monday and our performance.
And I wasn't
on Tuesday.
thrilled to not have to play that night because the other
I'm
team
not gonna
forfeited.
lie. Yeah, they definitely didn't forfeit, right?
No, they did not.
We definitely had a game.
They were called the Blue Balls.
Yeah.
That was their team name.
Dude, the league has the Moisty Boys, which I swear to God, if they do any sort of chant that involves that name, moist is one of the words I hate the most. I will sock someone in the face.
But yeah, definitely nobody forfeited against us.
Yeah, and we weren't excited because we love to play. Even though it was in a field that was 30 minutes away from our house, and it doesn't.
And the game, the second game was at 9:55 at night.
No, the first game was 9:50. No, first game was 8:55.
9:55. But we played. We played those games.
We definitely
and we dominated. It was 55-0. Now we're 2-4. Shout out to the Inglorious Batsmen. What are we called?
Inglorious Batters.
Which is funny because my fantasy team is Inglorious Staffords.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of references to a movie that's 10 years old, which is kind of weird.
That it's 10 years old now.
Yeah, it's a while back.
I watched it and I didn't. I mean, it was so. In terms of I guess those types of films, it was
time to kill some Nazis.
Yeah,
that's my Brad Pitt.
But it was it was gritty, but it wasn't it wasn't a war movie. That's what it was. It wasn't a war movie.
It was,
but it wasn't a traditional war movie. It was more low key, more political. It was a good movie, but I went into it expecting something way different.
Are you looking for the war movie of the summer of 2012?
Are you sick of run-of-the-mill actors? The same ones, year in year in year over.
Are you tired of war movies that actually involve war?
Well, I got something that might fit your palate.
Time to kill some Nazis.
With dogs.
Oh, we're going okay, I thought we were doing a trailer for Inglorious Bastards, but
Inglorious Dogs. The Nazi hunting unit that you never heard about.
Keep going. I don't have anything yet.
Starring the lead from Dog Justice 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Brad Pitbull.
Brad Pitbull. Making return appearance as a lowly private who uncovers a scheme to destroy the world.
Son, what are you doing? You're not following our orders right now.
I'm not here to just bury bones. I'm here to bury Nazis.
Boom,
boom, boom. Coming this fall. Woof. Woof.
There you go.
That wasn't bad.
See, I originally thought we were pitching Inglourious Bastards, the movie.
Yeah, but
no,
then,
we're. Did you like the Brad Pitbull?
I did. That was a fantastic.
That's
his name now. That is his name now.
I don't know how to.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got? You got a haiku? Okay. I'm glad you remembered.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
We're almost at the end of the
show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell everybody we're reeling back our show time.
So yeah,
to
this
12
is
minutes
This
now.
is our pilot. This is the pilot program for the shortened programming, the 1 hour RWP.
Yeah.
Now that should hopefully,
if we actually do that,
it should hopefully increase our listening ship.
Yeah.
If that's a word.
You know what's because it's really fun when I pull the final audio file and I see 1 hour and 50 minutes, and then I go, yeah, I don't know who's listening to an hour and 50. Plenty of people listen, but I don't know who listens through the full hour and 50 besides my sister.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
The diehard randos.
So,
but we're gonna try to shorten things. It's like an hour, an hour 15. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on things. We'll try to keep the show moving. The way we're gonna do the segments is you're not necessarily gonna get the same segments week by week. Now we're gonna rotate them around. We'll try to work in the classics. Like on today's show, we will have things like Fishbowl. We will have do's and don'ts, but other things like Pilot House and the quiz corner and stuff like that. We'll rotate them in and sub some stuff out. But we're going to try to go for the hour show today. So because of that, we're doing a shortened version of a poem, which is called a haiku. And what is our haiku?
Snake, a haiku. Darkening hillside, a venomous tall snake sneaks at the perfect rat.
That's kind of epic.
And that was a random one. I just clicked fill out
so
the
like
form.
the monkeys filled that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
A bunch of
The
monkeys.
monkeys at the typewriters
wrote that.
They wrote Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Because that's
And-
real. Yeah. Show me evidence, scientists. Show me an evidence that a monkey could bang out typewriters and
Well,
make
that's just it.
Shakespeare.
They're saying like by pure probability.
I don't
But I'm
believe it.
talking like those monkey.
The monkeys
think
would
about-
be dead.
Think about the string of sentences they have to accidentally type.
Yeah.
By accident.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to happen. Ye old Julius Caesar and et tu, Brute.
Definitely, that's totally Shakespeare.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I think so. It's something. Let's do it. Let's start the show.
it's something.
I'm just going to keep saying the name. It's the Random Word Podcast. You got to understand what that means, right? Everything that they do is based on Spy Kids.
I came up with this dick monster,
By the way, look at that bird. That could be on the Random Bird.
letting the sweet release of death embrace me. Grab the dustpan!
Dog justice.
Dog justice too.
Feel the lure.
Yeah.
Tim's dad has been thrown out of 5 Little League games so far by the local umpire crew here, but I just can't quit you, dear. I just can't shoot you.
Can't quit you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, buddy, wake up. It's time to go. I ordered these from the Baby Gap. Eating a dictionary?
And she kept saying the word heavy.
Hunter, I barely know her. You're talking about she has AIDS.
It's like, how does it have AIDS? Like, so many baby heads could fit in there.
I don't think you can bite my neck like a fucking vampire. Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's time to waste your time. It's the Random Word Podcast with your hosts, Ben and Salty Dalton.
5, 3.
This just in.
I like how it's always like that beeping noise behind him. Like it's just a really small car like trying to back up. Beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep, beep.
Actually, count me again. I got
Okay,
I got a better
sure.
one.
5,
You're gonna leave
4,
this in, aren't
3,
you?
2.
Hey, yeah, we're here right outside the studio of the Random Word Podcast here trying to get a glimpse of Ben and Salty Dalton, the hosts, for episode 48. And here they are. They're coming out on stage right now.
Hey everybody, good to see you.
Hey, guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks,
man.
guys. Yeah, thanks. And they're right there, and they're talking right now. This is
Packed
an
house
incredible
tonight.
scene. I wish you were here with me. Back to you, Chet, in the studio.
All right, hey guys, good to see you. All right.
Chet, it seems we're having some technical difficulties here. Back to you in the studio.
Hey guys, good to see you. Nice to see you. How's
Anyway,
it going? Nice
welcome
to see
to the
you.
Random Word Podcast. That was called acting.
That was acting. That was good. You played all the parts.
I did, because I thought you were going to jump
I was
in.
background guy 1.
Yeah, you were.
That was
Well,
me
I
on the
thought you were
script.
playing Ben
I'm playing
on
Ben.
stage.
Yeah, no, I was. That's why I kept saying, because the audio feed stayed with the stage. It didn't go back to
That's
Chet.
what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you played Ben. It was like a meta role for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You were playing yourself
Man.
on a stage.
I know, and I was a method actor, so
No, I mean-
what I had to do was gain 60 pounds, and then that's how I was able to get into the role of Ben.
No, definitely. You played it so perfectly.
Yeah.
It was almost like
Appreciate it.
it's almost like you were Ben the whole time.
I really want us to do a podcast episode where we're on the stage and we're dressed like Steve Jobs, but instead of inventions, instead of like good inventions behind us,
Terrible.
it's our like fishbowl
You don't have
inventions.
any idea what a funny skit that would be?
Yeah.
I'll buy a black turtleneck for it.
Like I'm glad you guys are here today to witness the next generation of the iPhone, and you just throw up one of our shitty. It's the driveway sprinkler.
Since the dawn of time, humans have been
Really
striving,
epic speech leading up to it.
evolving, building, and I am presenting to you the pinnacle of human achievement.
Whoa. I almost said, oh, wrong music. I wish I had the better adventure music, but it is the Random Word
We
Podcast.
could probably do one like that. We could do a skit.
We
with
could.
Pete. Pete could film it.
Pete could definitely do it. Remember the time we had Pete come over to film for us, and we wanted him to film like a fake documentary. Instead, he just filmed us doing the show and then left.
Yes.
We're like, all right, man, but we already do that with
Well,
our
I was
camera.
gonna write up we were gonna write up the fake. It was gonna be a mockumentary, and it
Pete
was gonna
had
have
no
like
interest in helping us with that.
we're gonna be blacked out with the voice
Yeah,
mod,
yeah.
and it's gonna be like, yeah, I know those guys,
Yeah.
and like all this stuff for like spread rumors
Pete
about
didn't
us.
want to go along with it. So
Yeah. So Pete, how much you have back on board?
Random Word Podcast, you can reach us on Instagram at the Random Word Podcast, and then also you can email us the Random Word Blog at gmail.com. This is episode number
48.
48. So we're a couple away from the next
I think it's 48.
season
I honestly,
finale.
we're
I'm pretty
close.
sure it's 48. So in a couple weeks or so, we will hit episode 50. We'll
I
come
gotta
up with
start
something.
cutting new timestamps for the
Yeah,
intro.
for the next intro for next season. We will be off next week, most likely. Salty Dalton's traveling. I'm traveling. But we will hopefully be back the week following with maybe some stories from our travels. Maybe Salty Dalton will get in a fight with a
know what we should do?
one-armed hooker in
if
Reno.
if we wrap, I'm not going to Reno. Did
Oh.
I tell you where I'm going?
No, I just made it up.
You should know where I'm going.
Yeah, are you going to St. Louis to see the Arch?
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Are you going to
going to Broadway, Pa. You'll see my name in lights. Broadway.
Going to Portland? Bring a rain jacket. Burn Portland.
Got him fried. This is an anti-Portland podcast, if you can't tell.
Are you going to go to San Francisco? Don't step on all the the homeless people do on the streets.
Oh, okay. Wait,
jeez.
is that a thing? Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, they poop on the streets.
Okay,
Somebody's job is to
So you
clean
know how
up the
we're
homeless people's
so we
poop.
have we have a couple fantasy leagues we're in. One,
Yeah.
Ben and I are in. It's the Money League.
Yeah,
This
and
is
then
the one
Salty
where
Dalton has his real friends in his other league.
so this is the one that Ben and I played each other in, and I won.
Yeah, okay. It was close though. It was the first week. I
It
had
wasn't
a couple
super
injuries.
Close. It was like 50-point difference.
It was a couple injuries, a couple misplays. Salty Dalton cheated, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. And so we have this group chat where we're just like bashing each other. And one of the guys in the group chat, Billy, sent me a post on Instagram of this lady in the store. And so she's like walking around. She looks both ways. She suddenly goes and like, so you know how when you go to the meat section of a store, how it's like the walls are like it's the open air refrigerator stuff. And sometimes they have that like box in the middle that's also a freezer. Mm-hmm. This lady walks around, crouches behind it. She's wearing this skirt, and she like pulls up her skirt slightly, pulls her underwear down, and just explosively poops on the floor.
Oh, I feel like I've seen this.
Actually, hold on.
feel like I've seen
I'm
this.
sorry for those of you. We're not going to post this on the Random Word podcast.
No, we're definitely
Instagram.
not.
But let me just for context, and it'd be funny. Just
And it was at a grocery store, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So here's what I'm saying. Just wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh,
Dude,
that's
and she just walks away.
oh, that's
so
so
she
disgusting.
she poops on the
I
floor
hope
and
she
walks
was
away.
arrested.
And this was like him and I have like we talk about random stuff sometimes.
Sure.
This was like an
This was out of the
unwarranted
blue.
one, but it was like
Unsolicited.
I like texted him back. I was like, Jesus Christ, that was insane. Because like that's disgusting.
That's a very strange
How
video
would
to
you
get out of the
ever?
blue.
Okay, let's just put a scenario out here real quick.
Okay.
Let's just say, for some reason, dude, like somebody slipped you laxatives, and
They don't need to. Trust me. I poop like 10 times a day.
and diarrhea just strikes.
Okay.
If you were what will it take for you to poop inside of a store on the floor where other people are? How bad does it have to be?
I mean, even then, I would just, even in the
I
worst
feel like
case scenario, I would go in my pants. Yeah.
because then
You go in your
sure.
pants, you sprint to your car, and you drive home immediately.
No, I mean honestly, yeah. You see
And
that?
then you take your pants off before you get in your car. You throw the pants into the
Yes.
closest garbage can, and then you drive home. And even though your underwear is probably bad too, so you take that off as well, and then you just. I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying is how bad does that have to be?
I would
Because-
never. No, I would never do that.
So
You could pay me $100. I wouldn't do that.
So Patfish, guest on the
He's
Random Word
done that.
podcast, he visited my work one time because he works on my program sometimes. And we went out to go get coffee.
Nice.
This was like months and months ago.
Yeah.
Probably like last year.
And he pooped on the floor.
We're walking out of the building. And we're walking with a group of other people. Like, this is the lunch rush, right? So everyone's like, you're not all walking together, but like it's groups of like 3 and 4.
Sure.
We round this corner. I see this like stream of water coming down, and I'm like, oh, they're watering the plants or something. And it's like this. So my my old building backed up right next to this apartment complex.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of, the city. And there's this businesswoman who has her dress like hiked up.
No.
She is just peeing.
No.
Nonstop. And we're at a slope, so like
Oh
I've like
my God.
I see the
So this is the middle of the workday.
middle of the workday, and it's like in an alcove in the entrance to her apartment place.
Oh my God.
She is dressed very fancily. The skirt is up, like she's like, I mean, it's
So you
like
can see the stream.
yeah, you can see the stream both on the street and coming out of the person. She's just there. Everybody
Oh my
like follows the
God.
stream with their eyes. That's like coming down the thing and looks at her, and she's just looking at everybody with literally her underwear around her ankles as she's like squatting just in this corner.
What is she doing?
Insane. I remember texting Ashley about this, being like, I just saw something I can never unsee again. And she just looks at everyone and then puts her head down and just keeps peeing. And this lady was like dressed so fancily, is obviously like running from some type of meeting, but like,
And she
if
had
you-
like to go back to work after this, probably. 'Cause
Somewhere.
It's lunchtime.
somewhere. And it's
Yeah.
like, how bad do you have to go to the bathroom where you're willing to just do that?
That's crazy. That's
It was
crazy
insane.
town. No, I
was
would never.
insane.
I would never.
I literally got like anxiety for her. I was like,
Ugh.
what are you doing?
I hate that's. I don't know what I would do in that situation if I were you. Like, I would probably also be like, I don't know what to do here.
Like everyone just kind of like looked at her, and like there were like at least 12 people walking in around this corner, and we're all sort
Like,
of
oh,
just like
there she is.
looking, and then she's there, and she like,
What if you
put-
get your next meeting? You show up in the conference room and like she's like leading the meeting.
I would never be able to look at that person the same way. I'd be like, I saw you pee on a street sober and in front of everyone.
In the middle of the day on a Wednesday.
Middle of the day, and it's on the side of the road. Like cars drive by. There's no like the only way she's hidden is from somebody walking right out of that apartment complex store. If you have to go to the bathroom that bad, there are so many other options.
Yeah.
I'd rather you be peeing in a parking garage, which is right next door.
Go in the stairwell. Well,
Yeah.
we've all done that. Just kidding.
Insane, but they just reminded me of that, and I was like, it
from-
was an unwarranted video. I mean, it was funny, but I was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that is insane.
To
I was
get
like,
a video
what
like that from a guy who like you talk to really not that often at all, a little bit strange. Very strange, actually, not a little bit. From peeing in streets, we get to the word here. We got to reveal the word. Again, this is a random word that is generated by Salty Dalton, and our point is to
generated, son.
educate you
It
on a
is.
new word. So hopefully you learn one here.
Smooth beats.
Your word is. Your word is.
Bibliophile.
Bibliophile. Wait, can I try to spell it here?
Yes.
B-I.
Yes.
B-L-I-O. Biblio. Ooh, how do we do file here? Do we go F-I-L-E or do we go P-H-I-L-E? I'm going to go P-H-I-L-E.
That is correct.
Oh, man.
You have spelled bibliophile. It is a noun, and it means lover of books, especially for their
gosh.
format and also in terms
You had
of
to go with books because of
book
me.
collectors.
You had to go with books because of me.
Bibliophile.
Because of my job.
Yeah. So
have I chronicled?
one might consider Ben, since he works
God.
in a industry that directly produces books, some might call Ben a bibliophile. Not a pedophile, but a bibliophile.
Oh, yeah. Nobody has ever called
We're
me
not
a pedophile.
We're not saying the word pedophile.
No, we're
But
not.
you
Not
can-
in association with me.
But you can imply how the
Sure.
word pedophile came around
No.
because of bibliophile.
No, I think it's just file is just like a Latin word for like
Lover of
expert
things.
Yeah, lover
Expert of things? You can't be an expert child molester.
Speaking of child molesters, you know what I started watching on YouTube lately? I've been going back and
God.
watching the Chris Hansen stuff.
Dude, yeah, How to Catch a Predator.
Yeah, but like I know like that show existed, but like for some reason they're showing up on my YouTube a lot because he has like your recommended videos, and like
Why is
those
that
keep
in your-
coming up. And I
Is
forgot-
it warning you?
I
Ben,
forgot
please
how
stop.
creepy those were. Because so I started watching one the other day, and it was like, you know, it always has like the same setup. Like they talk to this guy online, and the guy's like says really gross stuff. And then this one that I watched was So the guy shows up with like food. It's always like food and snacks, and it's always kind of like weird.
Or flowers sometimes.
Yeah, and then like
The flowers part is weird.
yeah, it is weird. And they were like, "All right, we're gonna watch." You know, he's like talking to her about like, "What do you want to do?" And it's like, oh, it just creeps me out. And it's like the funny thing is so they have. It's not really funny, but so they get like an actor to play the role of like the 13-year-old kid. So they get like a college-aged actor who looks really young to play the kid. Now the question is, do you keep that on your reel? Like on your like demo reel for like acting? Do you keep the I also one of my biggest roles was playing Amy, the 13-year-old in to Catch a Predator.
Interesting. That is actually so yeah, pedophiles scamming the earth.
Yeah.
Let's focus in on this aspect.
Yeah.
That is 100%. It's a resume builder.
It is.
It is because there's no other way you. So think about it this way: the only way that somebody would do that, like, either audition for that or
Exactly.
or accept that role.
Yes.
They either have like a very personal agenda where they're like, I don't care what it takes. Like these people are garbage, which they are.
Yeah.
Let's get them arrested.
It's I like. A great role to catch, the predator.
That's what I'm saying. But like, it's 100% like somebody has to call an agent. Somebody's like acting agent and be like, would you like to star in, not star, but like, would you like to be a role in How to Catch a Predator? We do not.
We'll just use Tilly.
And so like, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty sure that is definitely that like you have to put that on your resume.
You do, but it's definitely
But it's
one of
such
those,
a niche thing.
It's a very niche thing, and also the acting itself is very limited in the role because basically they just have the person just being like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm just a little kid," and then like the person's like, "Do you want to like play Xbox?" And he's like, "I'm just a little kid," and then as soon as the guy makes like any sort of advancement, that's when Chris Hansen pops around the corner. Thank you. That's when Chris pops around the corner, and that's my
like,
favorite.
"Gotcha."
Dude, Chris gets like jacked up for that moment.
Oh, dude, that's
like
he lives to catch a
and he always
predator.
has a little folder. He's got like, I've got your file right here. And he's got like the whole folder. It's like, what are you doing here today? And then like this latest one I watched though, they asked the guy, he's like, what were you expecting to do today? And the guy's like, oh, we were just gonna watch football. And Chris Hansen goes,
You're going to watch football with 12-year-old
Chris Hansen
kid.
goes, really? What game? And the guy like had to think about it. First of all, it's like, Chris Hansen, why does that matter? I'm like, I know what you're doing.
Are you watching
but like,
the Falcons v. Panthers?
Oh, well, then we'll just wrap things up and get out of your way because that's going to be a great game tonight.
Insane.
But yeah, Bibliophile.
But I'm saying it's like, because you
pedophile.
can be a cinephile.
Yes.
You can be a bibliophile.
Yes.
Or you can be a pedophile.
Yeah, you could. Not a great career choice.
No, well, I would say that about 100% of the time, if someone finds out you're in that career field, you will go to jail.
You will. Yeah.
It's sort of like there's no exceptions. It's sort of just like hey man, like,
yeah.
you're going to jail.
You're going to jail. We're going to take you there right now.
I wonder what happened to Chris Hansen.
He's still around. So on YouTube.
Do you think he's like doing it vigilante?
Dude, the problem with
He's
Chris
like, you
Hansen
can cancel my show, but you will not stop
the problem
me.
is Chris Hansen is like, if you're like his wife or like his son, you can't get away with anything because like if you're his wife and you're like
coming in like at night when you're a teenager and you're like, and all of a sudden
what
like
do you think
the
you're
light
doing here?
the
And
light,
it's the whole TV crew.
the light clicks on, he spins around the chair.
Hi,
I'm Chris Hansen.
what are you doing here, Dad?
Are you out partying? Dad, get the camera crew out of here.
The wife like because he also catches like bad plumbers and like fake electricians.
I
and
like
that sort
how
of stuff.
bad plumbers is thrown in there. Like,
Well, yeah.
the plumber comes in to like fix the pipes and like he opens the cabinet door and Chris Hansen is in the cabinet. Like,
He just gets more and more advantageous
what are you doing here?
on his pop outs. Yeah. The guy goes back to their own home. They're about to like go to the bathroom in their toilet. Chris Hansen's just waiting inside their toilet. Hey there, how are you doing here? But the wife, if his wife tries to like hide like a Christmas present, Chris Hansen's gonna pop right out and just be like, "What are you doing?"
Chances are it's probably the Christmas present you thought you wrapped is a DVD of him saying, "Hey, what are you wrapping in here?"
I love it. I love when he says it. So that's Bibliophile. You got that. Now it's time to do a little learning, Salty Dalton. It's time. Boys and girls, and hopefully no pedophiles. Hey, Chris Hansen, it's time for the time that everybody's been waiting for. It is Salty Dalton's incredible brain explosion full body learning experience. And now,
kids.
your host, Salty Dalton.
Well, hello. We got quite a turnout here. Hey, what are you doing?
Hi. What are you doing here?
What are you doing?
Why are you here in this room with these children?
No, I swear. It's,
No,
this
I'm
is a
educating
segment.
them.
This is a segment. It's Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen, put the gun down. Chris.
Whoa.
Chris.
What if Chris did start just
That's what I'm saying. Is like
vigilante justice?
they cancel his show, right? And then
Chris Hansen loses his mind and still thinks he's on television the whole time.
like he thinks there's a camera crew, but like, what if he just starts he does the research on his own?
Yeah.
He starts he puts a bin and address or something. Is like where the pedophile the pedophile comes in, and Chris Hansen just goes like,
Turns
hey.
into f***ing Dexter.
Yeah, he's like, hey, what are you doing here? And the guy's like, what the? He's like, clicks the gun. Hey, it's time for you to go. I'm Chris Hansen, and this is how to kill a predator. What?
Camera two. It's like, what camera? What are you talking about, Chris?
Dude, him as Dexter would be like, oh, dude, yeah. Or it's either that or like, what if it's already been that way? But like, it's like, it's televised, right? They catch I actually don't know what happens to the predator after that. Does he get arrested or something?
Yeah.
He leaves, yeah.
No, they just let him go.
Well, like, what if like,
They're like, we can't use any of this.
after they stop filming, Chris Hansen's like, hey, tell you what, I'll drive him down the station.
Yeah.
And then like Chris Hansen's driving him.
I'll
Like,
follow behind.
and the pedophile for some reason is like, this isn't the way to the station. Hey, you're right, it's not.
the way to the bottom of the Hudson. Oh, Chris.
Anyway,
Chris.
welcome in,
What are we
dudes.
learning today, full body?
Oh, what did you
not-
just call me full body? What are we learning today, rock body?
we learning today? Something Dalton full
So welcome into Salty Dalton's Incredible Brain Explosion Full Body Learning Experience, sponsored by Safeway.
Oh, Safeway.
Eat fresh.
And KFC. We don't have any sandwiches left. Please stop asking.
KFC, please give us back our
Or
sandwiches.
Popeyes. Bad joke by me.
Yeah, it was a bad joke.
said KFC
So
instead of
today we have
Popeyes.
two quick little quiddle ones. Two quick little ones. So the first one I'm going to talk about today is
Quick little quiddle ones.
two quick. Hey, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
You trying to make fun of this baby?
I'm a baby that never mind. I was going to say I'm a baby that assaults other babies.
How to catch a
Who's
baby?
going to arrest this guy?
How to catch a baby? Pretty easy. They don't move a lot, I guess. I don't. Just him going into the hospital beds while they're in the bassinet. Hey, what are you doing here?
All of our segments are going off the rails.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about jockey Frank Hayes.
Oh, wow. What a name.
The year is 1923. It's 35-year-old Frank Hayes. He had never won a race before and was by for a profession actually not a jockey.
Oh, okay.
But he was a horse trainer, a stableman. So it's a stableman, you know, so you see the classic comeback kid. It's basically Seabiscuit 2.0 and see how your beer is fizzing up like that
I'm
now.
watching it.
So basically it's like Seabiscuit, right? Tobey Maguire, down on his luck. You're too big to be a jockey.
Oh, is that how that movie went?
Yeah, he was too big.
Oh,
And
I
so
thought,
he, like-
I thought he just really liked isn't that like a cracker? A sea biscuit? I thought he was really into that, and they're like, you can't keep eating that while you're riding on the horse. And he's like,
Yeah,
I can do what I want, Dad.
Yeah.
He's like, you'll never be a dancer. And he's like, I want to be in the NFL. I remember all the plot.
I don't know what that movie was, but I want to watch it. You can't eat crackers on that horse. I swear to God, I'll score this winning touchdown, Dad. You'll finally be proud of me. Look at the way he's dancing on that field.
Son of a bitch.
That horse dancing, football playing, son of a bitch, Spider-Man. So basically, it's this 35-year-old guy.
Got it.
Never
Not a jockey, stableman.
Yep, never won a race before because he was a pretty jockey. So he enters this race. It's 20-1 odds.
Okay.
So if he wins, it's a big payout, huge payout.
Yeah, those are great odds.
Yeah, against his horse, Sweet Kiss was his horse's name. So the funny thing is, though, during this race, Frank Hayes died. He died in the middle of the race.
During the race.
But he died during the race, but his body was still stuck in the saddle, and his horse won the race.
Wow.
So, so basically, his horse crossed the finish line by a whole head.
How did he die?
I'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
So his horse
Whole
crossed the-
head, get it? Because it was his head. Because he was dead.
His head just flew off. But because he was still technically in the saddle, He was the first and so far the only jockey to have won a race after he already died.
Wow.
Because the only other way you could do that is by strapping a actual dead body to a horse
Yeah.
and entering him into a horse race.
Which no ruling committee is going to accept.
Absolutely not. So his death actually wasn't even discovered until the race officials and the owner of the horse came up to congratulate him.
Yeah.
They're like, Frank, hell of
Great
a
race,
job,
Frank.
brother."
God.
Frank?
You're like, Frank, you know, the way you were laying on that horse, I mean, no wonder there was so much aerodynamic action there because you had your head down the whole time. How did you even see where you were going, Frank?
It was the best thing I've ever seen. You barely even touched the horse.
Yeah, you finished. At least you didn't finish dead last, Frank.
Frank, son of a bitch, let me shake your hand. Your hand is cold. You've got ice in your veins, brother. And then he fell out of the saddle.
You're looking a little blue for a winner.
So, that's a bad joke.
It was.
They pretty much figured out that the cause of death was actually a heart attack, possibly due to extreme weight loss. So he dropped like 20 pounds in like a week.
Jockeys are tiny.
Yeah, so he could be lighter weight to make the horse faster. But also, they think it's half of it was due to the surprise of actually being in the lead. Because he was breaking away, his horse was in the lead, and then he died, and the horse kept going.
It was like when our softball team was dominating last week.
Oh, yeah.
We were so surprised that 2 team members died. Rest in peace. Mm-hmm. Pour one out. Pour one softball out. Pour one out onto your floor. Onto the wall. Still got some foam going. So that's a record that I don't think many people are trying to beat.
No, it's right, because it's a... you don't really have control over it after it happens.
Unless you, like, knew that, like, you were like... If you were able to get it down to, like, 5 minutes before you were about to die... Well, races are only, like, a minute or 30 seconds, so... Maybe if you like really timed it up right, you could pull it off. You're like, I'm dying anyways. I might as well win this race and become the second person that died while jockey.
I guess what you could do is, so the trick is you have to be dead before you hit the finish line.
Exactly.
So if you're running a marathon, I guess you could sort of, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to have a second shooter. But if somebody...
People have definitely died running marathons before. That's got to be a fact.
They have, but they've died...
But they didn't finish the race.
It's either that or they died after they crossed the line, right? So the trick is dying and falling across the finish line. So you have to be dead. So basically like alive, finish line, dead, and the momentum has to carry you over.
That's the tricky part.
Yeah, in order for it to qualify, you have to be legal... Almost said legally dead. What the are they lawyers
There's a lawyer there. I do declare this man here is dead. That's how lawyers talk.
I did the rights. So he was buried in his racing clothes. They just didn't like.
They're like, well, we're in a dirt track. We might as well just lay him right here.
3 days later, and his horse never raced again. His horse got the nickname of Sweet Kiss of Death. Now think about it from the horse's perspective, right?
Sure.
The horse wins this big race. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, he's like, I have a dead body on me. Maybe that's why he was running so fast.
He was freaked out.
Yeah. And then think about that, but he's just like, he's all jacked up, and then people are just like, wow, that horse is cursed.
Yeah, but he definitely had, like, leverage over all of his horse friends, though. I said horse friends, get it? Like,
do you think the horse had anything to do with it?
I mean...
That might be interesting.
It's possible.
Maybe the horse, like, coming out of the starting gate.
Maybe the horse, like, whispered, like, a secret to the man right before he started racing. Like, I can talk. And then the guy had a heart attack.
Oh, you know what? That's probably what it was.
It's 100% what it was.
That's actually... All right, we solved it. Anyway, so the next little bit we have for the full body learning experience
my body's feeling full, man.
Is called The Trial Against Tomatoes. Now, this is very quick, and there's a lot of, like, background information on it I'm not even going to get into. I'm going to read you the highlights. This is a real thing. So, around the 1700s, 1800s, tomatoes were actually considered poisonous. They actually were, it was unheard of to eat them. If you ate them, people thought you were going to die. They thought like the tomato skin would cover the lining of your stomach and kill you, or stuff like that.
People were so stupid.
So basically, you only ate tomatoes if you were like ultra poor, and it just wasn't accepted in cuisine. Like generally, tomatoes weren't.
Meanwhile, poor people were just loving ketchup.
They're
and
like sweet
tomato
tomatoes.
sauce.
Yeah. But it turned out that a lot of the reason people were scared of tomatoes was people were eating off of these pewter plates, which contained a really high amount of lead, and so the acidity in the tomato. So basically, when tomato juices get out or the skin itself makes contact, it was soaking up that lead, and so these people were eating
nothing like a good tomato filled with lead.
Yeah, and so that was what was killing people. But they just everyone jumped off the ledge. They were like, tomatoes are bad. So this went on for a while till there's this guy. His name was Colonel Johnson. Like his name was Colonel.
Colonel
Johnson.
was his name.
Yes.
He wasn't in the military.
Nope, not even affiliated. He got so fed up with people thinking that tomatoes were harmful.
Yeah.
He stood in the middle of a town square with a literal bucket of tomatoes and fucking ate them all.
Putting them down.
He ate them all in front of a horrified crowd. He was just like, yeah, you like this? He was eating these tomatoes. And
Sounds like something like Shia LaBeouf would do.
Yeah, he stood there for hours and people were like, he's not dead. Like, tomatoes are okay after all.
He proved his point.
Hey, everybody, come watch. You got the kid running down the street like, the tomatoes are fine.
And then he died of diabetes.
Yes.
From all the tomatoes.
It was insane. I think it's so acidic. So soon after, tomatoes became more accepted and were included back into daily cuisine.
So basically, people that work in the tomato industry have Colonel to thank.
Yeah.
Because he saved the industry. If he hadn't done that stunt, that artistic celebration of tomatoes, they wouldn't be around today. We wouldn't be eating the pizza that we were just eating that have little tomatoes on it because of Colonel eating tomatoes in the streets.
We wouldn't even have pizza.
Interesting how that was able to spread across like the country.
It took a while. It took a little while.
I was about to say, like, other states were still like, yeah, we're not eating them.
European countries were still eating them because they were like, okay. Well,
it's a good thing people weren't like, oh, he's a witch. And then they
that's just
burned
it.
him.
All the scientists and people who have eaten them before, they're just... Think about it. You're getting so fed up. Like, if you hand somebody like a glass of water and they're like, "This won't hydrate me,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Okay." After like 10 years of this, you're probably just like, "Drink the f***ing water."
Yeah, and then you got to chug a gallon in the town square.
Just like
Just start peeing everywhere.
Well, like the funniest thing is, it's tomatoes. The man had a bucket of tomatoes and was like, "This is the only way."
Yeah, this is it. He's like, I screw science. Like studies.
What a like a political stance. What a freaking like.
He's like, I'm not leaving this spot until everyone knows tomatoes are safe for you. He's like, I don't care how many tomatoes it takes.
You know, what'd be funny?
I'll be here all
if he
day.
actually died from eating too many.
Yeah,
tomatoes.
overeating. Yeah, it's quite
like,
possible.
Oh my god!
You're like, we were all right. We were right. Man, Colonel.
So that's all I got. That's Salty
Colonel.
Dalton's full body incredible brain explosion learning experience.
Colonel.
Join us next week or maybe the week after.
Eat your tomatoes, people.
Eat your tomatoes.
As many as possible to prove your point. And that's where the phrase comes, I'm going to prove myself right like a tomato.
Yeah.
That's where that phrase comes that we're all super familiar with. That is Salty Dalton's brain body explosion tomato extravaganza. It's time to move on to a fan favorite. That is Fishbowl. Turn it up. Turn it up. I love the little... I don't even know where I pulled this from.
Now, remember we heard it on that commercial?
Yeah, and then I heard that song on the commercial, and I sent
It's like
it to
some
you.
laundry commercial.
Yeah, it was a laundry commercial. We're like, this is badass. They're coming up with a lot of inventions in the laundry room. I wonder if we've had laundry-themed inventions. I don't remember.
Not yet, but now it's on the radar.
Ooh, it is on the radar. Speaking of radars and laundry, it's time for Fishbowl, the segment where we pitch useful invention, ideas, business opportunities, and the like. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first? You want to go first? Okay. Well, welcome to the Fish Dojo. You have 1 minute. You may now begin.
Ghost stories, myth, legend, books, movies, amusement parks, haunted houses, We have been building things to scare us as a human race for years. Why? Because we love it. We get a kick out of it. Well, guess what? We've seen all the jump scares. We go to a haunted house. We know what's going to happen. We know what's waiting around the corner, and we still walk in. Well, guess what? Today, I am going to throw the concept of a haunted house out the f***ing window. I'm bringing to you Scare System. It's the first haunted house that goes to you. People will follow and scare you in your natural habitat. Great for pranks, parties, Halloween season. You can buy different packages with different scares. It's Scare System.
So they come to your house. Do they make you?
They come anywhere.
Interesting.
So basically, Scare System is it's a play on the haunted house, but it's the haunted house that follows you in your everyday life. Now, you go to a haunted house, right? You're like, oh, this is spooky. I'm probably going to get scared here, right? And you might be expecting it, all this sort of stuff.
Sure.
Now, the Scare System, you can either hire for yourself, or ideally someone else will hire it to do it to somebody else.
Right.
Now,
right. The ideal situation would be you not knowing about it.
Right, and so they'll be going to work, and all of a sudden, out of a back alley, someone charges at them with a knife and says like, I'm gonna kill you. The guy screams, starts running. He's running down the street, right?
Yeah.
Taxi driver pulls up and is like, here, get in, or something. He waves down a taxi. He gets in there. There's someone in the back seat with a mask on.
Yep.
Scares them.
Okay.
This guy is getting scared all the way till he gets to work, and then
So it's a mobile scare system.
It's a mobile scare system, and it will track down the people you want to scare and scare them where they're least expecting it. Okay? You're always you know what you're signing up for when you go into a haunted house, but you do it anyway because you like to be scared.
Sure. I guess the issue is probably legal liability. Like if you pick, let's say you pick a guy at work that you don't like, then you hire the scare system, and they go to his house and scare him, and he ends up shooting all the people at his house because he thinks they're robbers, and then it's kind of oh well. This was all a prank. And he's like, well, those people are dead. That's my only worry with it.
Right. No, I understand that. I mean...
Or somebody getting a heart attack.
Right. So ideally...
Because the people that go to haunted houses know that they're going to haunted houses.
Well, yeah, but that's what takes the scare out of it.
I do
If I'm going to walk into a room and someone's going to tell me that someone's going to jump out of this room and scare me, I'm probably still going to react to it, right?
Yeah.
But the scare isn't authentic.
I do like the idea of keeping it where you do it for yourself, Thrill Seekers. You do it for yourself, but you don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You set a window with the scare company and say, here's 2 weeks that I know for sure that I'm not going out of town or anything. And then for those 2 weeks, part of the scare is you waiting to know, all right, is this now when I'm going to get scared or not?
Yeah.
So it could be Thrill Seekers.
Or something you can do is, people who want that, right?
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, friends and family, if you want to get me a gift, why don't you do this for me? And that way you have no idea when it's coming.
Yeah.
So it's good for that. It's good
got to be the right people.
It's also good for parties. So if
it is good for,
so if you're throwing a Halloween or
a baby shower.
If you're throwing any kind of party and you're like, hey guys, this party might get a little scary.
Yeah.
And
what?
and it could
this
be
is
anything.
Quinceañera.
Yeah.
This isn't going to get scary.
But it's the scare system. So it's the haunted house that comes to you.
I like it. I think there's potential there. You just got to get around specific, issues where it's we got to figure out who knows what's happening, who's legal and liable. But I do think there's something there.
Well, yeah, so...
Oh, sorry. I can wait.
That's fine.
No. What were you going to say, my friend?
I said, so there are different, levels of the scare. So basically,
Sure.
in order for them to even
There's your pants scared.
you have to sign a couple waivers yourself, even if it's not you. So you're taking legal responsibility for all actions performed.
Yeah.
You fill out a form with the other person's major fears, so they can play off those, personal info in terms of maybe where places they frequent.
Yeah.
Their routes, a photo, and a phone number.
Okay.
So they might do the ring up and be like, "I'm watching you," and then do that throughout the day. Sort of stuff like that. You can tailor
I think there's
the
potential
package.
there. I think there's a lot of potential there. Actually, that's a good idea, especially with the way the mobile businesses work nowadays. All right, my friends, my fishes, my homies, my flippers. Here's the way this works. It's fantasy football season, is it not? It's one of the biggest fantasy sports time of the year. We're talking everybody doing FanDuel, doing ESPN fantasy leagues, Yahoo fantasy leagues. Fantasy football is one of the most popular things in the world. Why can't we do that year round? And we're not talking about sports here. We're not talking about fantasy baseball or fantasy hockey or none of that. We're talking about fantasy office. It's fantasy football, but based upon your coworker's performance at the job. Here's how it works. You enter in every single person that works in your office. Then there's a draft. You and your friends that work in that office, you draft those players, those other people, and then you measure their ability to do their job. Let's say Janice screws up the coffee 1 month. That's -5 points. Fantasy office. Didn't get a full chance to pitch the idea, but I think you get the idea.
Okay, so I think it would make... I do like the idea because,
Sure.
it would make everyday life more exciting.
Exactly.
Now, interesting. I think it would be more appropriate if it was, managers.
Sure.
So if you're at a big company, all
Okay.
the managers get together.
Like team leads, and you have your literal team. And then, so-and-so lost
That
a
way-
deal this week. That's -15 points.
And you have the performance review, stuff like that. It's either that or, CEOs play this game in their rich ivory towers, and they have, the fantasy league for the office. It's
Sure.
Brett turned in 6 reports and
So-and-so's-
actually managed to, and he worked on the weekend.
Yeah.
And he also closed a $2 million deal. That's
You got to have full insight on what the employees are doing, but you track this, you draft them. So you don't necessarily have
draft would
your
be
own
crazy.
people
Yeah.
from your team. You don't have to draft them. Just like if you're a fan of an NFL team, you kind of get cautious about, okay, do I draft a guy from this team because I like the team and the guy, or do I draft someone who's actually better? And so then that really tells you something about your
It would be interesting to
employees.
see the breakdown of the first, second, third,
Yeah.
fourth round. Who's the last pick of the draft? Who's the first pick? Is it's probably not the young intern. It's
No,
probably
no.
it's not the senior executive.
No, it's probably just an up-and-comer. The first pick is going to be an up-and-comer. This guy's showing a lot of promise. The Saquon Barkley of the office.
I want them to have the combine stats
Yeah.
are the words per minute typed.
Yep.
Previous accomplishments, stuff
Yep.
like that. Maybe how high they can jump.
And if it's a sales-related role, then you could easily track it using actual sales numbers would translate to yards and stuff like that, if it was football. But yeah, I'd like
Actually,
the idea.
yes, I do like that a lot. I
Yeah.
think the scoring system needs to be ironed out.
Sure.
But I'd probably give that a 3-star idea.
Yeah, because I think, let's make fantasy sports into everyday life. Fantasy office. Speaking of fantasies, but lack thereof, because we're providing real-world advice, it's do's and don'ts.
Do it!
That was called a transition.
Just do it!
I easily transitioned us to this next segment.
Industry term. Well done.
Industry term.
Do it!
It's the daws and the don'ts. Do's and don'ts here on the Random Word Podcast. Couple segments left for you on this shortened show. We are kind of on track on time right now. The way this works is Salty Dalton and I have a couple categories here. We'll run through these. We'll give some do's. We'll give some don'ts. I already can tell you number 2 is definitely already used.
Did we do that? Cutting in line?
We did that one.
When did we do that? Last episode?
A while ago, months ago. I like a lot of these though. Salty Dalton, where should we start? We'll do 2. Should we start with number 5 or number 1? Or any of your dealer's pick.
I like water cooler talk.
All right, let's do do's and don'ts for water cooler talk
And
/ coffee talk.
Then you can pick the second one.
And here's the thing. So in my office, we have a water cooler. And I always have to be the one to change it because our office is 90% women. Not to say women can't change water coolers. That's not what I'm saying.
heard it here
I'm
first,
saying,
folks.
no, that's not what I'm saying.
You heard it here first.
The women in our office tend to not change water coolers. And I always have to change it. I'm not saying a woman can't change a water cooler.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Ben
in my
basically
office,
just said women don't do anything.
I did not say that. But we have a water cooler. So what I really like to do is I like to stand by the water cooler and I wait for someone to talk to me. And then the day ends and I get to go home. I'm not being very productive at work. Some do's and don'ts for water cooler talk and coffee talk. Now, this is interesting because I am actually conveniently set up near the coffee machine. So I hear a lot of coffee, and I'm actually the one that tends to brew the coffee. So I have great insight here. So my first do for this sort of talk is, you'd think that the advice would be to pick a universally known topic,
Right.
to be able to talk about. I'm going the opposite. Do pick a very niche topic. And the reason why is, if that person also knows about that niche topic, it will be a great conversation. If they don't, then you probably didn't want to talk to them anyways. So we're talking picking things like sword swallowing. If you're like sitting there just like, yeah, man, record of sword swallowing, it's 19-foot sword. Did you hear about that? It happened last week. And that person's
That'd
like,
be crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that person's
I
like,
immediately am more interested in that than
yeah,
anything
you
just
gotta
said
pick.
in the last
You gotta
10
pick
minutes.
interesting thing. If you were just like, oh, did you see the game last night? It's like that conversation. Where's that conversation gonna go? It's gonna be like, oh yeah, so and so played well. Yeah, so and so won. All right, see you later. But if you go in and you're like, did you know that the greatest magician ever was not David Blaine, but it was a very, very lesser known magician who actually died because he disappeared and couldn't find himself. And then you just kind of stand there and wait to see what they say.
I like it. That's really good advice. I was thinking more along the lines of, it's called water cooler talk.
Sure.
Start talking about the water. Start
Ooh.
talking about the cooler.
Yeah.
You want to be like, yeah, this right here, like they come up and you're like, you
Like
take
a
a sip.
pH of 7.
Yeah, you take a sip, you're like, This was a pH 7. We bottled this puppy back in October, and let me tell you, that was a hell of a month for water. You start listing out all these different, details about the water, the plant, like the actual capabilities of the water cooler. Like, yeah, right here we got a dual hemi switch. We have the hot and cold. We got a coil cooler right there in the back, plugs in right here, but it's got a backup battery pack in case the power is cut. We will still have fresh water. You'll kind of become like the expert in water coolers. And I think it's the phrase has gotten away from us. So when we say water cooler talk, now it's just about sports. It's about sword swallowers. But what it really was meant to be about was talking about the actual water cooler. That's what I got.
Okay, I like it. And then with the coffee, yeah, you can do a lot with the coffee. Coffee talk could go on forever. So my don't is, don't drink the coffee or the water while you're there. Get a cup of it, but don't drink any of it, because the whole thing is, if you're drinking, then you're not talking. So by not drinking anything, you keep your mouth loose for conversation.
That's a weird phrase.
So always be ready to talk by
that
don't
phrase
drinking
made me
that
uncomfortable.
stuff. And also, if you drink the coffee, you're gonna probably have to poop, and you're gonna miss all the conversation that's happening by the coffee pot because you're busy pooping. Now, bathroom talk, that's a whole nother subject matter that we'll cover on a different day.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen ever.
Never.
I'd never want to carry on a conversation with anyone in the bathroom.
Oh no.
So,
What's your don't?
my don't. Let's see. Don't talk sports.
No.
Don't talk generic. Talk specific office gossip.
Ooh, little gossip queen action.
The water cooler, the coffee pot are the premier spots to dish out the latest news in the office. It can be 100% made up. You just walk up and you'd be like, you crack your neck a little bit and be like, well, hey man, how's your morning going? He's like, another day in paradise. And you're like, yeah, dude, did you hear about Brett too? And he's like, what? What do you mean about Brett? And you're like, oh, dude, you haven't heard.
I think you said Brett 2, like it's Brett's evil twin.
Brett 2, the sequel.
That would be crazy gossip.
And so then you start walking away, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, dude, you haven't heard about Brett. So then he goes like, whoa, man. And he brings you back. And see, the thing is, you can use the water cooler
Yeah.
to propel yourself to a new level of popularity.
Because everyone loves office gossip, man.
You start making up stuff
Oh,
about their
man.
home life, about things outside of work.
None of it can be true.
You make up things about the CEO, but you need to be the go-to guy for office information.
Yeah.
And that all starts at the water cooler, because it doesn't get done through email chains. That's traceable. It's
No.
word of mouth, and
Has
the
to be.
word and the mouth are at the water
You
cooler.
just hang there by the cooler, man, and be the gossip queen or king of the office.
Be the fly on the water cooler, as they say.
So my do and don'ts here, let's go with dealing with angry customers. This is something I do on quite a frequent basis, becoming a little too frequent. Here's a do, Salty Dalton. When you're dealing with an angry customer in any sort of line of work, here's what you have to do. you have to take whatever their problem is, and you have to go way over and explain your own problems. But it has to be
I like that.
way more than whatever their issue is. So their issue is like, I didn't get a credit on my account or something like that. You go, oh, you didn't get a credit on your account, huh? My grandma killed both my parents.
And
then
guess what? That happened yesterday.
happened
I came
yesterday.
into work today.
Yeah, Chris Hansen was there. It was crazy. And
Wait,
you said I came into work.
Hold on. Would that imply that your grandmother was
Chris
a
Hansen.
predator or Chris Hansen?
Your grandmother was Chris Hansen.
And your
in a
parents are
wig.
predators.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it works. Alien versus Predator. Also,
Dude, what do you
It-
think?
it fits.
Alien. How to catch a predator?
it's Alien
What
versus
if
us a
the
pedophile.
The predator comes in like, it walks to the door, this infrared vision,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it sees this like warm
Little
body
kid.
walk around the corner, and it's
Yeah.
Chris Hansen be like, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
And Chris Hansen is the alien, or is he the
Yeah,
predator?
and he opens his mouth, and the little alien thing comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it would work. But yeah, so your issue to the customer has to be way crazier than whatever their issue is. So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking like, oh, you're having a bad day, huh? My house burned down. In fact, it's burning down right now, and all my family heirlooms are inside.
Every minute I'm spending here
Yeah.
dealing with your imaginary problem, you
Yeah.
look across the street, and you've already started the fire. Look across the street and look at my house.
Oh, your car needs a new muffler. My car needs a new roof. It's gone. It got torn off by a velociraptor.
Yeah, guess what? It's not a convertible either.
Oh, you're having a bad day? I was stuck in Jurassic Park. You know that movie? It's based on real life. I was stuck there, and I had to get off that island.
That's actually low-key an amazing. That's
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best excuses I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not
couldn't
even
make it
gonna lie
into
to you.
work, boss. I was visiting Jurassic Park over the weekend. Did you not see the documentary? What
That's what it
documentary?
is. You have
Yeah.
to say, did anyone? You guys are just watching the documentary for
Yeah.
fun. Some of us actually lived through it.
Yeah, I was there. All right? Jesus.
I love that a lot.
What's your due?
Oh, man, what are
Dealing
we-
with angry customers.
Okay, dealing with angry customers. One thing you can do is you need to escalate their problem to a point where they're no longer willing to commit to their problem.
Sure.
So it happens all the time. People are always like, let's just use our current political landscape. Everyone's like, yeah, Trump, do all
Yep.
this other stuff. You should be like, yeah, man, let's take this to the next level. So the customer comes in. Customer's like, hey, you owe me a return on this item, and you're like, oh my god, they do owe you a return. You know what? Better yet, tell you what. And you flip around the register, you hit the button, eject the cash, and be like, take all the fucking money you want.
Yeah.
This place. Let's take this place to the ground. And that customer knows that it is probably illegal
Sure.
to grab that money, right? They're thinking like something's going on, and you're just getting fired up. You put on the V for Vendetta mask, you hand them a gun, and you go, let's roll this place. And then they're now uncomfortable, right? You brought them this problem, and they're having to.
I just was hoping I'd get my fee waived.
I wanted a coupon. You're like,
Yeah.
a coupon,
Coupon.
for anarchy.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
do this. And then maybe you have like a,
Like, this is just the push I needed to be able to make this happen.
Yeah.
Thanks for this.
and you put it on them. Be like, and you point to security cameras. This man is gonna take you down. And then maybe your coworker, he's got those blood packets on him. You shoot a blank right into his chest, and then you hand the person the gun and go, "Let's do this thing.
Yeah,
this
you and
was
me,
your
you and
idea."
me, you and
and
me.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
then they no longer don't even care. They're out of that
Yeah.
store, and then your
I
coworker
like
gets
it.
up. You turn the register back around, and you be like, "Customers."
I like it a lot. My don't would be, don't ever, no matter, even if your company is in the wrong, don't ever admit that you guys did anything wrong. And here's why. Because as the Jedi have taught us, if you say something, you can convince somebody that that's that thing. So the whole time while they're complaining about something new, you'd be like, that never happened. We did nothing wrong. And then they're like, no, you did. Like, you guys sent me this wrong item. You go, no, we did not. That was the right item.
There you go.
And you do have to wave your hand in the air like the
Yeah.
Jedis do. And like, even if you're on the phone, you just do the little wave, or it's over,
yes.
it's over email. You just wave your hand over the keyboard the whole time.
It's either that or you attach a video of you doing this every time.
You attach a video to your email.
Yeah.
No words, just you going.
Yeah.
And then,
And then you're typing like, make sure you play it the same
play
time
it at
you're
the same
reading
time.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
don't watch it at a different time. It might be weird, but you will watch it at the right time, and then you send a follow-up video on that. So yeah, that's how you do it. Jedi it up. What's your don't?
My don't is don't say anything.
Ooh, that's always a great start.
Don't acknowledge their presence. So basically, you want them to associate their complaining with absolute total ignoring. So they come to you with a problem. Maybe it starts off like, hey, I'd like to purchase this. You're like, hey, hope you're having a great day. Let me scan this up for you. Put it in the bag. And they're like, oh, also, the second transaction, I had an issue with your guys' product. And you go silent.
Yeah.
You look
around.
And not even that, you look past them and you go to the next
customer.
You go to the next customer, and they're like, hey, I'm talking to you. You go, next customer, you scan their
Make them think they don't exist.
The second they like drop it and be like, excuse me, and you're like, hey, how you doing? How can I help you today?
How can I help you?
And like, well, I want to do return, and you look the other way and you go, next customer. Yeah, and that's
a great strategy.
They're not going to know what to do.
So frustrated that they're just going to go home. They're going to be like, it's not worth it.
Granted, 9 times out of 10, the customer is not willing to wait.
Oh, man, that's a good one. Hold on.
I guess that segment was over, but
yeah, go ahead and grab
you're
it.
lucky that I'm getting a phone call.
No, you are.
Hello, Random Word Podcast.
You threw me off with the timing a little bit.
Yeah, I thought you might hit it before. Well done.
You tried to trick me. No, see, I'm trying to move the show along. It's new show, new you. New you, new me. New you, new me. Try to say that really fast. No, try to say new you, new me really fast.
New you, new me. New
really
you,
fast.
new me. New you, new me.
You sound so stupid. That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's call center, people. Call center, the best way to get in touch with the show, the Random Word blog at gmail.com. Salty Dalton, what do we got in store for the call center? Beep, beep.
Well, today we have Carl. He's 27, and the subject line is payment problems.
Oh, that sounds like a doozy, Carl. We'll be back after this Aerosmith.
Welcome back in. Anyway, to continue, his question is as follows. So there is a guy who works at a local Dunkin' Donuts, D&D.
Love the double D.
They're Dunkin' now, though.
They're Dunkin'.
So
They're
do they
not
just
Dunkin'
go
Donuts.
to D?
It's
Or is it
the
just
Dunkin'.
D now? It's the
there's
D?
no donuts. They have donuts, but they don't. No donuts. There's one across from me.
But is their symbol now just a D?
I think it's just the D.
So that you'd want the D.
Yeah, it's like, do you want some D? Yeah. I don't know why they did it.
It's interesting. So there's a guy who works at this local Dunkin' Donuts, and I've seen him there for the last 2 years. Lately, he's just been giving me free coffee without question when he sees me. Now, do I just pay him directly? Am I supposed to give him free stuff? It's incredibly nice of him, but I can't shake the feeling that I owe him something in return. Please help.
Salty Dalton, this is a classic scenario. This is what the Italian mob does. What they do is they butter you up
do you a
with
favor,
free gifts.
you do me a favor.
So here's what's happening, Carl. This guy's been giving you free coffee for, 2 years or something like that? That means he really needs something from you, and that's going to be the day that he asks you, I need you to kill the manager of this Dunkin' Donuts. You have to do it.
Not even that. 3 years from now, you're going to get a knock on your apartment door.
It's time.
It's the Dunkin' Donuts employee.
Carl.
He's covered in blood.
Yeah.
He has a rolled up carpet with one of those Dunkin' Donut visor hats sticking out of it, and he's going to be like, we need to go.
And you have to do it because he has paid for your coffee for 2 years.
Think about that. Think about that. 10 years. If you're getting coffee at least 3 times a week.
Oh my God.
52 times 3 is like 150.
Rain Man.
150 times. What's the average price of a coffee?
I don't know. I don't.
$3. Dude, he's saved you thousands of dollars at this point.
Yeah. Oh.
That's always an awkward position too, because it's just like, what would you give him? Like, how weird is it? If you're at an establishment where you're paying for coffee, but now you're in a situation where you're thinking about tipping this guy. Mm-hmm. But if you're tipping him, do you give him more than the price of the coffee? Has your coffee now become more expensive because it's free?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna tip him, if you give him $1.89 for what it costs, he's gonna be like, "What the f? I'm giving you free coffee."
He's gonna expect like $3.
Maybe once
$5.
Maybe once a week you give him a $5. Maybe he wants it in other ways, payment in other ways, like
that's true, like a massage,
or your body,
massage on his body, with your body,
or maybe he's just like, hey man, I would really like a place to stay.
Yeah, he goes like,
worst case scenario, you got a roommate.
He's like, I basically paid you rent over the last 10 years because I've been giving you free coffee, so I should be automatically I should be getting a bed in your place.
Yeah, and not even that. Security cameras. Are there security cameras? this could be a Chris Hansen situation where Chris Hansen comes out of the back room and goes like, hey,
Hi, what are you doing?
What are you doing accepting that free coffee?
Yeah.
This guy, he was an actor. He rips off the thing. It's a little kid.
It's that
He's
that
like,
other
gotcha,
show.
mother.
You know that other show, like What Would You Do, where they like put crazy scenarios and they see how people react, and then like
Is that the show we came up with? We
no,
definitely
that's a
came
real.
up with
There's
that.
a real show called What Would You Do.
That's literally a show I pitched.
Well, it's a real show. John Humanus or something. He has a weird nose. I mean, not a weird
Humanus?
nose. He has a weird name. Where it's like they put people in weird situations. What if it was like that, and like you're accepting free coffee, and then they come up like, "What would you do?" It's like, "What was I supposed to do? It was just free coffee." Huey Lewis and the News, 29 years old, straight jacket is the subject line here. My friend moved a few weeks back and told me I could keep one of his jackets. However, his wife keeps emailing me asking for me to mail his jacket back to him. What do I do? Classic
Well,
case of miscommunication, Salty Dalton.
It sounds like the guy did not want this jacket. It sounds like the wife bought this jacket for him. It sounds like the man found the perfect opportunity to offload
get
this
rid of it,
jacket.
yeah.
But the kicker is, he told his wife he left it at your place.
Rookie mistake.
Not expecting her to go try to find it, to track it down. Dang, what should you do? One thing you probably could do is mail.
I got a good one.
What
I
you
got a
should.
good one.
We should.
What
just-
if you come up with the same thing? I was gonna say mail.
Are you
then I
saying
have
mail a different jacket?
Yes, I was gonna say
Every
you gotta mail
week?
it.
Yeah.
Yes, oh my, that's exactly what I was gonna
Mail-
say. I swear to God.
Mail it-
Keep mailing a different
Mail
jacket.
it and be like, and then the note just says this one question mark, and
Yes,
then
that's exactly what I was
and then
thinking.
you call them
that's
and
so
you go,
funny.
hey, send me my jacket back because I'm trying to figure out what jacket you want.
That's so funny. That's exactly.
And
what
then
I
you
was
ask her
thinking
for a
of.
picture of it, and she's like, well, I don't have a picture of it because you have it. And you're like, all right, you just send her a different piece of clothing every week.
That's so funny. That's exactly what I was thinking. You keep sending a different thing that they
With a
what they
note that
asked
just
for.
says this one
Because
question
there's
mark.
nothing they can do because they're just like keep emailing you being like, no, please send back the
And you're like,
jacket.
I am sending back
It's like,
jackets.
I'm sending back jackets. No, send back the jacket. I sent back a jacket.
I think it's the jacket you're talking about. Just
God.
literally go to Goodwill.
So great.
$10,
I pick up, like,
buy you 10
50
jackets.
jackets.
Yeah, and then just keep mailing them. And then once they were mailed, you have to ask for it back if it wasn't the right one.
Yeah, can you please? I put
They're gonna
return
rack up.
postage.
They're gonna. It's worth the investment. They're
Yeah.
gonna rack up so much postage fees
Yeah.
that they're just gonna be like, it, keep the jacket, and you've got 60 jackets now.
and then eventually you send them a box filled with like 100 jackets and be like, one of these has got to be it, right?
Yes.
And none of them are it. None of them are. It's 100 of the same jacket.
or you just mail them a piece of fabric.
Yeah, piece
in a
of
letter
the jacket.
for every week for an entire year.
You send them back a zipper to be like, this is all I have. I don't know where the jacket is, but I found the zipper. And then there's like, what? That's useless to us. Oh, man. The randomwordblog at gmail.com. Best way to get in touch with the show. We help you out with your life. That's what we're here for, Salty. We are life
Coaches,
coaches.
life
Yeah.
coaches. Yeah, I like that.
Get on the ground and give me 25 push-ups.
Of emotional stability. High five.
Yeah, we don't do push-ups anymore. It's 2019. You can't do a push-up.
Did you know that's a
Instead,
real
give
thing?
me 25 hugs.
So at basic training now, and I mean it varies. I mean,
Sure.
basic training, like boot camp, is still very tough for depends
Yeah.
on the service and stuff.
But it's gotten way easier than it
It's
was.
super like PC now.
Yeah.
So basically,
They're like not allowed to curse, I feel
you
like.
have these cards. So it's kind of like in a soccer match: yellow card, red card. If somebody is making you do something that you feel uncomfortable with, you can actually. No,
incredible.
I'm not even f***ing kidding. There's this guy I used to work with at the Patent and Trademark Office.
Yeah.
He was in the Air Force briefly, and he's like, yeah, we went through basic. He's like, it's insane. So you get these cards. This one guy was just yelling in this guy's face, and he just all of a sudden holds up this red card. The officer guy had to walk away and just not
Incredible.
say anything else. And I was like, I feel like that defeats the purpose, right?
Sure. Because I don't
Because,
think
like-
in war you get to just hold up the cards.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I would prefer someone to like. It probably sucks, but like you're not joining the military.
You're going to basic training knowing you're going to be screamed at for like weeks. Like that's
They-
you know that.
They have to break you to build you back up, but like the fact that you could just pull a card,
That's
no
pretty
f***ing
funny.
questions asked, and
Imagine
they have
being
to
able
walk
to do
away.
that like in your daily life.
Are you
Like,
kidding me? I would use that in every meeting. They would ask me a question in a meeting. I'd be like, "I'm sorry, guys."
What if everybody gets a yellow card and a red card every day to use whenever they want.
I think there's a finite amount of times they can use it,
Yeah,
but like
it's like during a week, you get, let's say you have a week,
Yeah.
a regular work week, 5 days of work week. You get one yellow card, which is like, hey, like you got to calm down. A red card is that person has to leave your
Absolutely stop,
vicinity.
yep.
They have to leave your vicinity for the rest of that day. So you could use a red card at 8 a.m. and your boss isn't allowed to talk to you for the rest of that day. But starting the next day, he's allowed to yell at you, and you have no red cards left.
that's what I'm saying. You'd have to really choose where you use it.
Strategic.
That'll be interesting.
And they
system.
don't roll over.
Do you know?
have to use
You know
it.
what I would do is I would take any punishment and then I would use both my red and yellow card on a Friday, every Friday.
Ooh, yeah. And then just walk out the door and be like,
I'll be
"There's nothing."
sitting there playing games on
Yeah.
my phone at my
Yeah.
desk. Someone walks up, hey,
And then boom.
sorry, bro.
Good strategy. It's a good
Yeah.
strategy. So another episode in the books. Again, people, we will most likely be off next week, but then we'll be back the week after with episode 49, and then we'll do episode 50, and then it's time for it'll be the best of episodes 41 through 50. I got to start working on the best of because it takes me so long. I should probably start working
Oh, wait,
on
so
it now.
best of is
So we've got
episode 50 is
so we've
best
got
of.
no. We've got 49 and then 50, then the best of, because the best ofs are the 11th through the 20th. It's the best of those episodes.
I still never understand this system.
Yeah, it's okay. We've only been doing the show for a year.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh, well.
Don't worry your pretty little head about it.
Thanks, man.
Red card. So the way we end the show is we count down. We do with a little 3, 2, 1, not yet. And then we say random word. And the rule is, if we ever say the same random word, I know you're looking around at objects around the room. If we ever say the same word, show's done. No questions
done.
asked.
Show's over.
Done. All right?
Ready?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Jacket.
Mitsubishi.
Oh, man.
Okay,
I thought you were going to go jacket, too, and I was like, this is going to be the episode.
I was possibly thinking I was going to say like dog or dogfish.
You said Mitsubishi what?
Mitsubishi.
Oh, just Mitsubishi.
Just Mitsubishi.
I guess that's a word. Yeah, that's a
I
brand.
mean, it's a brand word. Yeah. No, that's
You went way out there.
I did.
That was a safety play.
Dude, my brain. It was a safety play because I was going to choose something around the room.
Yeah,
but then
that
I
was a
went with
safety play.
Mitsubishi.
Okay, yeah.
So that I guess the show lives another day. I mean,
It does.
bottom line is, shows going to be around.
It's unfortunate, but
It
it's what's
really
what happens.
sucks. We're trying to get out of this. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing the word thing. 'Cause clearly, we don't want to be here. So one day we'll be able to say the same word.
Got to give us some outs.
Got to give. Oh, okay. I was like, I thought you looked at your phone and then you said, "Got to get some outs," and I thought you were watching like baseball.
No, I'm tracking baseball.
Man, we really got to get some outs. Got to get some outs.
All right.
But, someone's at my front door right now.
Answer it. I do that sometimes. You know what happened the other day? You know what I should have done? This is why I need to pay for the actual cloud service where I can record that stuff.
It's a guy just kind of standing there.
Let me see.
Don't hit the green button. Don't hit the green button.
Hey, sorry, we're actually we're on vacation in Mexico right now. We're not home. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, well now my home's gonna get robbed.
No, dude, because you'll be home tonight. Oh wait, maybe.
You just told him we're in vacation in Mexico. We're gonna be gone for a while. So what that means is now this man is going to know that house is gonna be wide open for robbing. Why would you say we're on vacation? I thought you were gonna say we're not home right now.
I was gonna say it's really personal, but I'm stuck in the bathroom right now. I should have said
Why
that.
did you even say we're on vacation in Mexico? Why
I
did
don't
you
know, it's
stop
the
at
first thing.
vacation? Why did you do that? Okay, well, I'll let you know. I'll text you tonight if we get robbed, okay? There's a robber.
Anyway,
tonight.
I was gonna say is I did the same thing. There's like it wasn't specifically a Jehovah's Witness, but like how like the political people have been canvassing.
Yeah.
But like this person kept ringing the doorbell.
That's pretty wild.
There's no cars anywhere in the strip.
Yeah.
Kept ringing
That's
the
annoying.
doorbell, and I was at work, and I answered it, and I was like, I went to this corner little office thing, and I was like, hey, can I help you? And the guy's like, oh yeah, I'm just I'm here to talk to you about this political candidate, and I said something along the lines of like, I can't help you, and they're like, what? And I was like, I can't help you. And then I hung up and then pulled up the live view, and the person was like,
What?
and he just walked off the steps.
Oh, I can't believe you just did that. Because the problem is now I'm going home, and the guy's going to still be canvassing the neighborhood. He's going to be like,
he'd be like, how is Mexico?
yeah, what are you home from Mexico now? No.
You
Yeah,
should be like, what?
He had a clipboard, so he's clearly selling something. Which the funny thing is, I'd remarked to Abby the other day is we haven't had
I should've
anybody
said-
sell
I
anything
should've
in a
said-
while.
What I should have said was, there's a gun trained on you right now.
Oh, no, you
Drop
shouldn't
the
have.
clip.
No, you would have called the police. I wouldn't have been there. They'd be like, this guy said he's in Mexico. Now he's here. Now he's got a gun on me. What the hell? Well, appreciate that, Salty Dalton. Now, can't wait to go home to a robbed house.
That's hilarious.
That is another episode in the books. That is Salty Dalton. I am Ben. We will see you in a few weeks.
Or am I Ben and you're Salty?
Hey, what are you doing here? Sayonara,
What
sweet
if I
suckers.
pull off the mask and I'm Chris Hansen?
You are Chris Hansen.
We outie. Hey.